Welcome to The Way the World Works, where the trusted team behind the Tuttle Twins books tackles current events, hot topics, and fun ideas to help your family find clarity in a world full of confusion.
Hi, everyone. So today we actually have a new co-host that we're going to introduce you to. So everybody, I'd like you to meet Katie Hague. Welcome, Katie.
Hey, Brittany, good to be here.
Now, you've actually been a guest on the podcast before.
Yes, I have. It was like a rebel homeschool mom episode, I think.
Yes, and that fits, I think. And Katie and I both, did we both live in Utah at the same time? Did you live in Utah?
No, I do not have never lived in Utah.
We just ran in similar circles with people who lived in Utah, Connor being one of them.
Yes,
So, yes.
Connor being one. Yeah, my daughter went to school out there, but
Okay,
yeah,
cool. Well, yeah,
lots of
it's
Utah overlap.
It's nice we finally get to do something together because Katie and I have known each other for years. So we're very excited to be doing this. So today we're actually just going to take an episode and get to know a little bit about Katie, since you're going to be getting to know a little bit about her as you guys listen to the podcast. So Katie, I'm going to put you in the hot seat and ask you some fun questions. The first one I
Okay.
always like to ask is, how did you get into all this? Maybe you want to say how you got into, wanting to homeschool or how you found liberty, but just, kind of a brief little story on how you found this realm of the world.
Right, right. So I feel like a lot of people come to kind of the liberty movement either from the right or the left. I don't encounter and haven't encountered tons and tons of people who were just like unaffiliated and then just this was their very first introduction to their political leanings or their
Yep.
way of thinking. So I definitely came from the right. I was a Republican. I was married to a soldier. He was deployed all the time. And I definitely was raised in a right leaning family. My dad and I used to listen to Rush Limbaugh every
Oh,
night.
same. That's how or in the
So,
mornings, I think, yeah, is what I used to do as a kid.
yeah, so that's my upbringing. And so I became a mom. My husband and I have 7 kids, and I was, always pretty conservative. And then I think it was probably 2011. I had a friend who was a big Ron Paul guy, and I was definitely of the mindset, the classic talking point of both the right and the left about third party candidates. And thought that's so crazy. You're supporting a candidate that's going to split the vote. You're going to give the presidency to Obama because you like this Ron Paul guy, and so that was kind of my mindset. And he encouraged me to read Atlas Shrugged and to listen to Dr. Paul. And so I guess that's kind of where it started. Um, the more that I listened to Ron Paul talk, the more that the things that he was saying made sense to me. And so um, that's kind of how it started for me. And then it was very close to that time that we, our kids were all in public school, and I was constantly fighting with the schools. I mean, it was like I wasn't one of these parents that was looking for it. I didn't storm into the principal's office and have all these issues with the schools, but I always really, really struggled with the idea that I was sharing the upbringing of my children with someone else. Like I didn't see, my kids' teachers as co-parents or people that I was raising my kids with. I saw it very much like, well, I am essentially paying you to perform this task. I'm allowing you, or I've chosen you to educate my children. And as time passed, I realized that that was not necessarily at all the view that the schools had of that relationship. And so learning kind of these more libertarian leaning ideas. I got really into kind of studying the Austrian School of Economics, and all of it was just kind of fitting together in a way that made me less and less comfortable with
Yep.
school. And so, our kids were all in school. We had them all come home one Christmas break, and we just decided that we weren't going to send them back. So we just pulled all of them out of school all at once. We didn't have a plan, didn't have a curriculum. We just knew that we were spending hours every night doing homework with the kids. We were essentially teaching them. They were spending tons of their day learning social things or moral things that the schools were teaching that didn't necessarily fit in with our beliefs. And so we just said like, okay, well, we're going to have to figure it out because this isn't how it's going to work. So it kind of is all very tied together. Our decision to homeschool definitely, you know, um, came about, I think, because of the things that I was learning and being converted to about, basically the way that I believe that the world worked and should work.
Hey,
So
that's the name of this podcast. Good tie-in,
I
Katie.
know.
um, so what is your favorite thing about being a mom?
Oh my gosh. I feel like it goes in phases, so like I said, we have 7 children. We have 6 girls and 1 boy. And our oldest is 24, and our youngest is 14. So at each phase of our kids' lives, I feel like my answer to that would be different. When they were younger, I just loved getting to be the person who taught them the things that they know. And I loved getting to identify their strengths and their weaknesses. And, we were a military family at the time, so we traveled a ton. And so our family was very, very close and we all knew each other really, really well. And so it was such a joy to, hear these people that you taught to eat and you carried within your body and you helped learn to walk. And, you've been there through every single phase of their development. And to be able to take on the responsibility of also educating them, it was so fulfilling and beautiful to watch that now as I've continued to watch my kids get older. Um, it's so fun. I have these 6 daughters they're all adults now. All of our girls have moved out, and it's just our son at home with us now. And I have this built-in awesome friend group. We're all super close. We get together, at least twice a week, all of us, and we do family dinners and we just spend a ton of time together still. And so I've gotten to watch all the way through what it looks like to opt out of the system and to do it our own way and to see that, you know, our adult children are thriving, they're happy, they're successful. And I think one of the most, I guess, satisfying parts of it is seeing that they have um, I don't know if satisfying is even the word, maybe comforting is the better word, that our girls who are adults have chosen to um, continue living the way that we raised them.
Hmm.
So, they didn't start blogs about how terrible it was to be homeschooled. They
Yeah.
aren't, they don't hate us. They 3 of our girls are expecting. We're going to be grandparents this
Oh,
year
that's so
to, I know,
exciting.
3 babies. So excited. We have 1 girl coming, 1 boy coming, and then the other we're not sure yet. Anyway, so it's been really, really cool to watch them decide that they want to raise their kids the way that they were raised. Like, I don't know if there's anything as a parent that could be more satisfying and make you feel more like you, I guess, succeeded than your kids continuing to live the way that you raised them and adopting the ways that they were raised to raise their own kids. That's pretty cool.
That is really
So
cool.
yeah, so right now that's my favorite, I think, is that part of it.
So which kid is your favorite? I'm kidding. Don't answer that.
Oh, I'll text you.
So some fun questions. What is your favorite book?
Oh my gosh. Hmm. I That actually stumps me.
Here, we can
Um,
go back to I'll ask you another one and you can be
okay,
thinking
yeah,
about
come
it.
back to me.
What was
Okay.
your favorite movie as a kid?
Oh my goodness, my favorite movie. Let me think. I don't know if it's a movie. I loved the Anne of Green Gables
I think that
series.
counts. Is that the new one?
Yeah.
Or newish? New meaning
No.
like within or was it the one from like
No,
PBS or
like
whatever
the
years?
old,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah,
Okay.
the, like, Canadian broadcast
Yeah.
whatever, Canada's PBS, yeah, that series, I loved that.
That's fun. And then what about who would you say is your hero? And that can be, let's say, like, who's your Liberty hero? And maybe it's Ron Paul. I know Connor and I kind of share that one too.
Yeah. Um, it's really funny because I feel like in my work, I've been so, fortunate to get to actually meet and get to know and spend time
Same.
with my Liberty heroes, and so I feel kind of like, yeah, I would say, I was very impacted by Ron Paul. I was very impacted by Jeff Deist. I love reading Dr. Tom DiLorenzo's history. And so I have these people that I really have admired and that have shaped kind of my way of thinking and seeing the world. And I've been super blessed to get to know them and to work with them. And so then it feels kind of weird to say they're your heroes because
Yeah.
it feels like kind of awkward, but definitely, Dr. Paul is who started me where I am or on this
Absolutely.
path. So,
So what
yeah.
about your like hobbies? What is something like if you've had a long day or you want to come home and there's something that you like to do that always makes you happy, whether it's music or painting or writing, what is your thing? What is your hobby?
I really like to be in my kitchen. Um, we have, like I said, a huge family and we always cooked. We gathered in our kitchen. So I think probably cooking is the thing that I do that kind of relaxes me, and it just feels good to serve your loved ones in that way. I don't
Hmm.
know. We're definitely uh, we eat for um, I don't know. It's like an event in our family, right? So I like to prepare food. I like to cook, and I like to just sit down with a cup of tea. And we live out in the country. We have some land out in rural Kansas, and so we have this big picture window um, that faces east at our house, and it's just beautiful to look out over the view there. And so I'm definitely a person that likes solitude, so I can sit very quietly for a very long time and be completely content.
So
So if
you're an
I'm not
introvert?
cooking, I am, I guess maybe I'm like an extroverted
Yeah.
introvert because I like to be around people. I love airports and shopping malls and places where there's a bustle, but I'm not really as excited about being in settings where I'm going to be like the one that the spotlight is on.
So you and I
So
have very
whatever
I
that
love
is.
that. I love the
I know,
spotlight.
I know. You're like, "Put me on stage and give me a mic." And I'm like, "I will
Exactly.
film you and I will critique you."
But it's funny, I always become really good friends with people who are more behind the scenes because it's a really good I always end up like dating people who are front and center like me, like spotlight, and then I always end up best friends with people who like to be behind the scenes. So it's funny because it always works out.
Yeah, and that's definitely how my husband and I are. Our kids were always, like, performing and singing together. He was always, like, organizing them to do these great things, and I never would have done that, ever. Like, even just this last over Christmas, all of our kids were here visiting, and they all came to church with us, and my husband had arranged for them to all get up and sing a musical number
Oh.
during our church, yeah, Christmas service. And afterwards, people are like, "Why didn't you get up there with your family?" And I'm thinking, like, I would never do that.
You're
I've
like,
never
"Nope."
done that. That's not my role. I tell them like who's off key and where people should stand, but I would never be up there.
That is so funny. Well, we will
Yeah.
leave it there, but I'm not going to let you off the hook. Actually, I got to ask you what your favorite book is. I got to see if you thought of one.
Oh my gosh. I just I don't even know. I just love to read, and so I can't even think about, like, what books have I returned to over and over again. I don't know. I love the Harry Potter books.
Oh,
That's not
same.
super intellectual, but
Oh,
I love
they're
them.
still great. I
Um,
read them every year, once a year. I love the books. Love Harry Potter.
yeah, and they do. They just feel so good to read. I
Yep.
love Edgar Allan Poe.
Oh, really?
When I do, yeah, when I turned 18, all I wanted was luggage and Poe's complete works, and that's become kind of a tradition in our family. Then when our kids turn 18, that's what we gift them. So,
For listeners,
um,
Edgar Allan Poe, he's kind of like a would you call him a gothic writer? Like what would be the word you would describe him as?
yeah, maybe gothic, kind of mystery, but yeah,
Yeah, kind of
definitely
mystery,
a
I
little
guess.
bit.
I know it's like when I was in like middle school, they used to have us read them around like Halloween time. It's not, yeah, it's so it's
Yeah.
kind of little like chilling or haunting kind of, but yes, very, very, very interesting. Katie, that's interesting for me to hear that that was your.
Yeah, yeah, that was it.
That's so funny. Well, we will
Yeah.
leave it there, and you guys will get to know Katie as we record more episodes. As I know, as time has gone on, I've been doing these for oh my goodness, almost 4 years now. That's crazy. Where is
Mhm.
time gone, everybody? But you get to know us a lot because we'll share a lot of our own experience. So really excited to learn more about Katie. So as always, guys, don't forget to like and subscribe to the podcast and share with your friends. And until next time, Katie, we will talk to you later.
All right. See you, Brittany.
You've been listening to The Way the World Works. Make sure your family is subscribed and check out TuttleTwins.com for more awesome content.